This is Stephen Rare from Renton Valley Community College. This is for CSIT 256, Computer Architecture and Assembly Language. And this is an overview for Stallings Chapter 15. Now, at the end of Chapter 14, or part of Chapter 14, one thing that was introduced was the idea of RISC. And Chapter 15 just goes into a little more detail about what goes into RISC computing. Things like for the machine cycle, that the cycle is meant for the time to fetch two operands from registers, perform an operation, and store the result in register. So one thing about RISC computing is we're not going to memory and getting values. That would mean that so if we're doing like an add, we actually would on prior instructions have to then fetch from memory and bring into a register what it is that we're adding together. And then after the add, then we would have to then have some instructions to take what's in the registers and then store it back to memory. But the add in and of itself, to make it simple, is only dealing with registers. Now, because we're dealing with registers, one of the things that's almost kind of ironic in a sense, that the RISC would need a larger set of registers because it's going to be needing to use registers as opposed to holding things back in memory. Another aspect of RISC is a sort of a simple addressing method, a simple addressing mode. So the way in which it addresses memory is simpler compared to complex instruction set computing. And then the other thing is there are fewer instruction formats. Now, some of that, in a sense, might be hidden to us. And what I'm getting at is if you think of the add command, we only just say add. We don't say whether we're dealing with register to memory, memory to register, register to register. We're just dealing with add or immediate to register, immediate to memory. When we're programming and we just use add, we're not thinking that behind the scenes there actually are different ones and zeros for the instruction that's being carried out because the operands are different. And so we're kind of masked, or we're not seeing that in the assembly that we're writing because the assembler takes care of, depending on what the operands are, which ones and zeros to use to represent the kind of add that's being done. Well, since the RISC computing is only dealing with registers, it's not dealing with memory, then there's a fewer set of instructions, or a fewer different set of instructions for add because it's just dealing with registers. That's the overview for Stallings Chapter 15.